absence because of my crazy ass life. I have so much going on right now, it's ridiculous. But what I'm going to bring you today is a hooded eye tutorial. Lots of you have asked me for this, and I know it's something that people struggle with on a daily basis like me. I feel like it is a burden and a curse, but I have taught myself over many years how to do my eyeshadow in a way that is flattering and actually maximizes the shape and size of my eyes, or makes it the most flattering that it can be. So I hope that you're going to like it. I hope that you will hit thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I so appreciate all of you who are watching my videos. I'm having so much fun making these videos. It's crazy. But I'm going to skip all the other introductions and I'm going to jump right to the video. So stay tuned. Okay, everybody, I'm back, and as you can see, I'm barefaced. Well, I'm bare-eyed. I have done my foundation and my concealer and all my cheek products and my eyebrows, and we're just going to do my eyes today to save a little bit of time so I can spend more time talking about hooded eyes. I have returned in my style that I call my Michelle Duggar hair. I say that with no judgment of Michelle Duggar. In case any of you are fans of that show, or the show that used to be, we're going to do my eye makeup in the way that I think is the most effective in showing your eyes to the best effect, in making them look bigger, and also in kind of combating the effects of a hooded eye. And so now that I'm barefaced, it's a little bit easier to see what the hooded eye means. So when you have a hooded eye, this skin right here kind of hoods over the skin right here on your mobile eyelid. The reason that I think that it's important for women over 40 is because some women who've never even had hooded eyes during their lifetime, all of a sudden when they're over 40 and the skin on their eyelid becomes a little bit crepier and a little bit looser, then they have a kind of a hooded eye. So it's kind of this universal problem, it seems like, for many women. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to do one eye the good way, and I'm going to try to do one eye the bad way, or the way that I see some people doing their eye makeup that I think isn't the most flattering when you have a hooded eye. And I'll try to talk about why each thing is good or bad along the way. We'll see how this goes. I start off by priming my eyes with MAC's Paint Pot, Pro Longwear Paint Pot in the color Soft Ochre. And that's what this looks like. There are other colors, but this is the one that matches my skin tone the most. That's the color you should choose, the one that matches your skin tone. So you may want to go into MAC and have them kind of, not even color match, but really just have them help. Their beauty consultants are usually really great. And have them help you figure out which color is the best. Because I like to use my Sigma 3D HD Precision brush. And it's this kind of wedge-shaped brush like this. I washed it yesterday, but I used it, I've been using it today, so it looks like that. And you just scoop some of the product out, and you can see that you can barely see it on my eyelid as I put it on. I don't use an actual eyeshadow primer. There's some great ones out there, I know, but this is what I do. So I just put it as kind of a base. And then what I do to set that is I use another very neutral color that's close to my skin tone. And I today am using a color out of the Violet Voss Pro Ride or Die palette. I bought this with some of my Christmas money. See how it's kind of laid out in color families? I like that. And I also like that it has the name of the color printed in the packaging. So I take just a simple brush, and I'm going to use the color April. It's right there. And that's going to be the color that I put over that base on both eyes. And so I just put a light color from just cover my entire eyelid all the way up to the brow. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to explain why my lips are so pale. A long time ago, I started putting foundation on my mouth. And I actually cover it with powder. And so it's got foundation on my lips. I feel like it makes lipstick stay longer. And so what I do is I'll do the lip scrub to get the dead skin off, and before I do my makeup, and then I just kind of go over my lips a little bit with foundation with my beauty blender. So I'm sorry if that's distracting. I know it can be distracting that my lips don't look a normal color. All right, so that step is done. We've covered our eyelids. We've primed both of them. Now I'm going to be doing this eye the good way for hooded eyes, and we're going to be doing this eye in the don't way for hooded eyes. All right, so we're going to start with the good eye. And what you want to do when you're doing your hood, when you're putting eyeshadow on hooded eyes, is you want to make a new crease. And when I say that, I mean you're going to create the illusion of a new crease that's higher than your regular crease and maybe even deeper than your regular crease, so that it looks like your crease is, let's see, I'm going to use a brush for, let's see, my actual crease you can see is right way down here, and that this skin then goes over it. Well, I'm going to make my crease somewhere up here in this area, and it's going to be very diffuse. The colors are going to be blended out. So it's not like it's going to look like I drew a crease in. It's really just an illusion that you're going to create by putting darker shadow up here that kind of fades out at the edges. And that's going to make your brain think, or the viewer, the person who's looking at you, it's going to make them think that there's a shadow here, meaning that it goes backwards. We've been talking about that play between light and dark and how dark recedes and light comes forward. And so that's all we're doing, is creating an illusion like you do in art, a shadow. But you want to start with what I call a transition color. And the palette that I'm going to use today for all of the stuff that we're doing, but besides that light color, is the Morphe 39A Dare to Create palette. And that's what this is. It's a really big palette. It's what it looks like on the inside. And honestly, it has like every single color you would ever want to use on a day-to-day basis. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the transition color. I usually use this one right here. Some people use this one. Depends on your skin tone. You can really use, these are all, the middle row of bigger pans is all intended to be transition shades. You just pick the one that matches the most. That's just a shade darker than your regular skin. So I use, for this, I'm going to use my Sigma Tapered Blending Brush, my E40, Old Faithful. And I'm going to dip into that transition color, and I'm going to start above my crease. Notice how I'm above my crease, and I'm going to start with the windshield wiper motion, inside and out, with the majority of the color being out here. So you just do this windshield wiper motion like this, and make sure to blend on the edges so that it just tapers out. Check and see, do you need a tiny bit more? Dip in a little bit more, and just build that color slightly. Notice we're staying above what my natural crease is. So that's, already you can probably see that it's starting to look bigger than the other eye. And that's the goal. Most people with hooded eyes, if you don't make that eye properly, it makes your eye look very small. And so the goal is always to make your eye look larger. What I see people doing is something they learned maybe when they were a teenager, and they will use a paler color like that, but they will begin by putting it all over their lid, just over their whole lid, maybe up to that area. And for this, I'm going to use a new brush that I got that I'm a big fan of, BH Cosmetics number 5 brush. It looks like this. All right, so we're going to use that same color, but instead of putting it in that area and leaving this area blank, we're going to start on the eyelid and we're going to build up, because that's kind of the first way that women learn to do eyeshadow, is that the color is supposed to be on their eyelid. And so that's what we're going to do. All right, so we're going to just put that transition color, build that color up to the center of the eyelid, because that's what most women learn to do. And honestly, a lot of women will just keep on doing what they've always done. And it's just because they don't know. That's why I'm here. All right, so you can probably already start to see what happens is this eyelid starts to look like it's coming down, and this eye looks like it's starting to be lifted up. And that effect's just going to be made stronger as we keep going. All right, so after the transition shade, we're going to go in with a darker shade right now. All right, we're going to go in with my Morphe R39 brush. It looks like this. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is go in with probably maybe these two colors right here mixed together, or maybe just this one or this one. That's what we're going to do. Remember, we're going to stay in that same above the crease area, but we're not going to diffuse this second color as much as the first. All right, so you see now, I'm still doing that same windshield wiper motion. I'm trying to keep the color off of this lower part of my lid. It's okay if it goes onto it a little bit, but now I want you to notice that the transition shade is the highest. This shade is a little bit less diffuse. I'm going to add a little bit more right in there. Remember, staying above. I'm still using that same windshield wiper motion. And I don't make it go too far out here. What we don't want to do is start pulling the color down this way, because that's going to be dragging. That's going to drag your eyelid down. All right, so there we go. Now I'm going to go in with the clean blending brush, one of my Old Faithfuls, I don't even know what this is, and just kind of go over the edges to make sure that that stays really blended. All right. Now, so what you will see women do, they'll add another color to that eyelid. We're going to use that same BH brush because it's big, that BH Cosmetics number 5. And we're going to use those same colors, but we're going to put them down here. We're going to make it going from dark to light, starting at the eyelashes instead of up on the lid. All right, so there's the second eye. All right, so the next thing we want to do is we want to go in with the very darkest of the three shades that we're going to use in the crease. And then I'm going to use my new favorite brush. This is my Wayne Goss number 16 brush. We're going to take this brush and we're going to dip into a dark brown. I think I'm going to use this brown on the top row. So we're going to dip into that darkest brown, and then we're going to go into that crease, being very gentle. We don't want this to just be a harsh line of color. Notice that I'm still above my natural crease, and I'm keeping the brush against my my bone there, my eye socket bone, all the time, the orbital bone, I guess it's called. And you can feel that. You can feel it, and it gives you a good guide point because, you know, a lot of people will have their crease at their orbital bone. But for hooded eye people, we have skin that kind of puffs out from there, and you really can't see where your eye socket is. So that's kind of what our guideline is, if you want to know. All right, I'm going to go back in with my Old Faithful. That's what I'm going to call this brush all the time, Old Faithful, my Old Faithful blending brush. I keep it clean, and then I use it to blend edges. We're going to blend those edges like that. Now, I think I want to have a little bit more color. I'm going to go in with a smaller brush now. I'm going to go in with my BH Cosmetics number 6. Is that right? Number 6. And so it's even a little bit more tapered, a little bit smaller. We're going to stay with that same dark color, and we're going to just build that darkness right there. And what the illusion is that my crease is up there where the darkness is. All right, and it makes your eye look bigger. I'm sure you can see now how this is going to work. What you'll see people do is again, they will think that because they will think that the darkest color is supposed to be down here. And so they'll put the darkest color on the bottom part of their eyelid. And I see so many women who do their makeup like this. And honestly, if you don't have hooded eyes, there might be nothing wrong with this. It might work for some people, but it does not work if you have hooded eyes. And as you age, it's just going to make your eye look more and more droopy to do this. All right, so this is me as I'm continuing on. Good eye, don't eye. Do eye, don't eye is what we've got right here. All right, so what I like to do is to add a little bit of highlight to my lid where I've left it blank or empty right here. It highlights it, and so that means people can see it more, and it detracts from the fact that I have hooded eyes because it tells their brain that they can see my eyelid, meaning that it's more prominent. So we're going to go in with a new palette that I've got. I just got this palette. Again, this is BH Cosmetics. This is their Solar Flare palette. This is an 18 color baked eyeshadow palette, and these are gorgeous colors. I'm obsessed with this. I mean, this was a really inexpensive palette. I'm going to put the price up in the corner, but I mean, I am in love with it. Look at all those gorgeous shimmers. So for this, I'm going to go in with one of the neutral ones, maybe this right here, Orb. Yeah, let's do Orb. It's kind of a pinkish gold right here. We're going with that. Now for shimmers, I like to use my finger. And so I just put some on my fingertip. All right, so we're going to go in with that, and we're going to put it on that part of my eyelid that moves a little bit. Just like that. We're just going to blend that in. All right, so now what I like to do if I put a shimmer on is take one of my brushes, maybe even the transition brush, the very first brush I used, the E40, and kind of go over the edge so it kind of makes it not as harsh. All right, a lot of times what you'll see women do is they'll think that they need to put the shimmer up here because that's kind of an old-timey way of doing makeup. So they'll take their brush and they'll go in with the shimmer and they'll put it up here on the brow bone. Now, it's okay to put some shimmer on the brow bone, a hair, but not too much, because it really will just make the biggest part of your eyelid look heavy and just puffier than it is. So I want you to look at those two eyes together and see which one you think is more flattering. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do our upper eyelid. And I'm going to use my favorite Kat Von D tattoo liner for this. I'm going to show you how hard it is to do winged liner when you have a hooded eye. And I'm going to do, first, I'm going to do my winged liner on the bad eye over here. Okay, we're going to do it on the bad eye. And I'm going to do it just like you see everybody online do it. If you watch a tutorial video for wing liner, this is what you're going to see. All right, and I hope you can see this. I may have to zoom in later. All right, so we're going to start here in the inner corner. We're just going to go normally right here. All right. And then what you'll see is they'll decide how far down they want to go, and they'll just go like this. All right. And so we've got a connected line right here, and then we're going to fill this in right here on the edge. My skin is so loose right there, it's really hard for me to even do this. All right, so they will have this beautiful look. All right, so look how gorgeous that is with my eye closed. I mean, you can see it's this perfect, beautiful winged line. It looks like it's going to turn out so great. I'm going to clean that up a little bit. You're like, oh, I did a great job on that. Look what happens when you have a hooded eye. You open your eye, and it's curved down. And that is the most dragging, like you can see that it makes this look like it's just going like that. Your wing is not supposed to look like that. Your wing is supposed to go out. And now look at my two eyes. Even before I do eyeliner on this eye, look at this. I mean, that just looks, I'm looking in my mirror right here. That just looks terrible. It's really unattractive. You can't even see the shape of the wing anymore unless you hold your eye. So I'm going to show you what happens. I'm going to show you how I do my hooded eye winged liner. All right, so what I do, and this is going to look really weird, but you're going to see why, is I look in the mirror and I'm going to draw an outline of where I want the wing to be. And so you want the wing to be up here. All right, you want the wing to be up here, right? Right, so that it sticks out like that. That's where you want the wing to be. All right, so that way it's not down, it's up. So you draw the outline of where you want it to be. And then look what happens when I close my eye. Look, that is how much skin is in my hood. It's that literally, it's that all this vanishes. Look at that. Can you see that? I have to start like that and then make it work. And so I go back to the center. And then I go to even out the curve that my eyelid creates because it's wonky. And I start from here and I go down. All right. And then I fill in. You'll see when I close it, it doesn't look pretty. It doesn't look pretty like the other eye. I wish I could have a pretty, a pretty sharp, wing like that when I close my eye. But when I close my eye, you can see this almost like a, I'm still going to even this up. It's almost like a diamond shape there because this is how my eyelid closes, that all that just disappears into the skin when I open my eye. All right, so that's how I have to do it. Now, it looks so much higher on that side. I don't know if you can see it. It brings the eye up instead of bringing it down. That is the struggle right there. I'm still not even perfect. This is real life, people. This is the struggle of my life. I love makeup and I practice every day. I've been working on wing liner for like 2 years now and I still struggle to get it right. All right, so, but that's the method right there. Now, so moving on from winged liner, which you may or may not like, the other thing that women do that is just awful, is to use liquid eyeliner on the bottom. And it just looks so harsh. I'm not even going to do it. I'm not even going to do it. You don't want a harsh line under your eyes because it makes them look smaller. And I also see women with hooded eyes make the terrible mistake of just tight lining their eyes. And tight lining is, well, I mean, your tight lining is inside of your waterline. So that's when you pull your eyelid down and you just put eyeliner on the inside. All right, you see how much smaller that makes my eye look just to do that? So that's a mistake that women make. So what you want to do in real life is you want to take a brush that's like this, a flat top brush. All the companies are going to make a flat top brush like this. And you want to use eyeshadow to make your lower eyelid liner. And I usually will just take that darker color that I used on top, and then I just slowly build up a kind of diffuse color there on the lower lid. All right, and then I'll sometimes even take a brush, like a smaller pencil brush, and I'll just fade it out. You don't want it to be too harsh. And another thing that I like to do that I mentioned in one of my videos at Christmas time to make your eye look even bigger is to use a white eyeliner. And this is our NYX, this is our jumbo eye pencil right here, the NYX jumbo eye pencil. All right. And then I'll literally tight line my eyelid, the inner eyelid, or the inner part of my lower eyelid with white to make my eye look even bigger. I should have done that before I did the other color, but let's correct that. We'll add a little bit more of the brown underneath, and then we'll blend that out a little bit more. All right, so I want you to compare those two eyes, the don't eye, which, I mean, it's still not terrible. People would still look at me and probably compliment me on that. You know, it's not awful, but how much better is this eye right here? I mean, this eye right here is 1,000 times better. Now, you do want to put a little bit of highlight on your brow bone. I'm going to go back to that Solar Flare palette, and I'm going to use this bean color right here. I'm just going to gently touch it. I don't want a lot, and I'm going to put just a touch of highlight color, right there, literally at the highest point of my arch, to make it go up, because that's going to make it look higher. And see, the difference between what I did here and just putting shimmer all right here is that this looks heavy and just fleshy, and this makes this side, the eyebrow, looks like it's lifted up a little bit. I always like to put that same color in my inner corner just to make me look a little bit more awake. That's just a general tip that I do every day. I think that's pretty clear, people. Now, I'm going to go ahead with mascara, and I don't think there's a wrong way to do this unless it's to continue to put on coats until your eyes look like spider legs. But this is the Benefit Roller Lash that I've been using for a while now. I love this product. This is in black, and I'm going to just do my mascara really quick here. It's terrible. This eye just looks horrible. This looks so much more harsh. Can you see that? The difference between this eye and this eye? This eye is so much softer. This eye is so much harsher looking. That tight line with the black really, or with the dark brown, really does that. All right, so I hope that taught you a little bit about how to do your hooded eye. Just kind of think about, you know, that same thing that I talked about with a paler transition color that's a little bit darker than your skin, then a medium tone in that same color family, and then a dark tone in that same color family, and build it like that. It works every single time, and it's always going to be flattering. All right, so I hope that's helped you a little bit. I've had so many people talk to me about this tutorial and ask for it. Simone, who asked for this back in November for a wedding she was going to, and I just didn't get around to it, so I'm sorry. Here it is, 2 months late. All right, everyone, so I'm back. I just had a couple of final thoughts for you. I've added a little bit of lipstick. This is Jeffree Star's lipstick in the color Unicorn Blood. This is not the liquid lipstick. This is just his regular old lipstick. I love this color. I have it in the liquid lipstick and in this color, actually. What I wanted to say is that you may not have always had hooded eyes, and if you haven't and your eyes have started to change, you need to look at how to do your eyes differently. I know it's easy to get into a rut and think that you've been doing your eyes the same way your whole life, but your eyes do change after you turn 40, 45, 50. The skin changes, it's more crepey, it's looser, it's more tissue papery, and so you need to do your eyeshadow a little bit of a different way. So look online. This is clearly not the only video about this subject. There's probably thousands of videos about hooded eye, with hooded eye makeup tutorials. But it may not be your problem. You may just want to watch a video about how to handle having loose skin on your eyelids or what have you, because it affects even how you apply your eyeshadow, and how much you need to blend and all that stuff. So I hope that you have gotten some information from this today. Please come back and watch another one of my videos. I would like for you to watch all of my videos, of course, so I will put links to my channel below. Subscribe to my channel and watch my videos, and if you like them, please hit the thumbs up. I would love to see some comments from you, any questions, requests for future videos, and I look forward to seeing you at my next video. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Bye!